From the studios, it is the channel currently known as EuroYard, but as we said on Blue Sky earlier, there will be a new name, a new brand identity. Coming out after the contest, we'll have more on that soon, but for now, this channel is still called EuroYard, and we just got through the first semifinal of the 2026 Eurovision Song Contest, and before we get to the qualifiers and the non-qualifiers, what I liked, what I didn't, all that. Let's start here. That was a bit of a slog to get through, and I know this is a music contest, a competition. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be light. But my God, the talking, the and the hosts, they seem like nice people, but there's no chemistry. I don't know who wrote this script, but oh, God. Just the constant stalling and the filibustering and the segments taking way too long. I know they're trying to fill time for reasons that I think we've already established. But still, it's like, come on, just like get it over with. Jeez. So maybe the next two shows, semifinal 2 and the grand final, maybe they'll be better, but we're not doing so great so far. And it makes me sad because I think the 2015 contest, which was in Vienna at this very same venue, was top to bottom one of my favorite contests in history. And I've watched them all, except for the 2 where there's no video. The others, I've watched them all. And I think 2015 was one of the best contests in history. This is definitely not in the running to top that. And that contest too in 2015, yeah, I thought the hosting was good, but I also thought that the music quality was really, really good. There were a few disappointments here in this contest, but we listened to every song, we saw the live performances, we got comments on each one. So the 10 qualifiers, in the order they were announced on the screen, they are in their running order. That's what you'll see. So the order they were announced, it was Greece, Finland, Belgium, Sweden, Moldova, Israel, Serbia, Croatia, Lithuania, and Poland. So let's just go through each of the songs because this is a reaction to the semifinal. So the show opened with Moldova, Viva Moldova by Satoshi. Just a high energy song. And they usually try to open the show with a high energy song to just kind of get people invested. So that's what they did here. This was the kind of campiness that's exactly what you would expect from Moldova. This is where they succeed. But the irony here is that actually my favorite Moldovan entry was by Aliona Moon. And she was one of the backing singers. And she had her big moment with the dress yet again, just like she did years ago. So I appreciated that. Then number 2 was Sweden. It was Felicia, My System. I do think Felicia's vocals were a little bit off. At the end of the day, though, the chorus goes pretty hard. I think you'd have to admit that. This song will do about as well as any other Swedish entry. It was a virtual lock to qualify. At this point, it doesn't really matter what Sweden sends to the contest. They'll get through. Now let's talk about Croatia. The song's called Andromeda. I thought the staging was absolutely fantastic. So I did not really watch any of the rehearsal clips. I wasn't following along with the dress rehearsal stuff. I wanted to see it for myself. And it'll be the same thing for the songs on Thursday. I'm not going to watch the rehearsal clip because I don't want to play that game of watching a short clip of a rehearsal and then making a judgment. But I have to say, I wasn't expecting staging like that. Like, you had that levitation effect, and then the smoke, and just the way that the singers were positioned, the blocking there on stage. I was really blown away by it. The song itself was fine, but really for me, it was the visual. It was the staging. I thought it was one of the better staged performances of the night. I really, really enjoyed it, and they went through as you saw, and they deserved to. So let's talk about Greece. My friend from Greece, Achilles. So the staging, it was better than Sing for Greece. I don't think it was completely there. I still have an issue with, there's that part of the song in the chorus where the beat's really bumping. And in Sing for Greece, he was being carried across the stage. And on this part, he's like riding He's like riding a scooter down the stage, and like it was a cute effect with the pyrotechnics going off, but that should have been just like a high energy point of the song where like everybody in the hall should be dancing along to it. And I don't know. I like the song. I like him. I feel like I like this song better as a studio song than a live performance, but I'm glad that Aquiles is in our lives now, because this is the kind of competition where he should shine. So let's talk about Portugal. And I said it in a prior video. I'll say it again now. This is the most Festival de Canção song that has ever Festival de Canção. It was a sincere song. It was sweet. It was, I don't know if I'd go with touching, but it was sweet. Very sincere, like I said. Definitely dull, especially compared to Greece, which came right after Greece. And I know I said I was concerned about that the song would have to go on right after Greece. And it's definitely not the most exciting song. But Portugal had a qualification streak, and that came to an end today. So Georgia, I want to address this one. Georgia, pre-show, when I did my predictions a couple of weeks ago, I thought that this song was going to qualify. And then I saw it performed today, and I changed my mind on it. Actually, I thought Portugal was going to take their place. But as it turned out, Belgium took both of their places. The live performance, it just really didn't do it. It's got a fun beat. I thought the performance was lacking. The vocals were unsteady. The staging, I feel like there's so much more they could have done with this. It just didn't work. And I feel bad for them, because I really thought that just, if you listen to the studio version, you just listen to the song, I thought that they had something to work with here, and it just didn't work out. So I do feel bad for them, but I'm not surprised that they didn't qualify. And I even said so on the Blue Sky account after I listened to it. I said, look, I mean, I don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen. And then Italy, they performed in between 6 and 7. This is another sincere song from the heart. Sal is likable. He oozes charisma, just like many of my people from Italy, la mia gente dall'Italia. He's probably heading for the top 10 because of his charisma and because it's Italy. So to Sal Da Vinci, I say bravo, molto bene. So let's move on to number 7. Finland, the favorite. This song is built to win. This song is the complete package. This song, I wouldn't say that this song is the best at everything in terms of Eurovision history. But I think this song does a lot of things in terms of the vocals and the composition and the staging. This song does a lot of things, and it does all of them consistently well. And that is why I think ultimately this song has a very good chance of winning on Saturday. So they nailed it. I think it's about as good of a song as you're going to see at the contest this year. Reading some social media posts by some people out there in internet land, there are actually people that think this song is terrible. And to those people, I would say, I suggest that you find another hobby. You might not enjoy it so much on Saturday when they win, because I think that is a very real possibility. I'm not going to guarantee it, obviously, but there is a very good possibility that you will be upset. So now Montenegro. This was one I thought was going to qualify, and I'm very disappointed that they didn't. I thought it was a fun live performance. The vocals were not 100%, but probably the best and most put together Montenegrin song that I've seen in years. I really thought that this song had a chance of qualifying. I'm disappointed that it didn't, but she did, I thought, a pretty good job, all things considered. Now the song at number 9, this was Estonia. So, too epic to be true. I mean, we could have had Ollie here. The same criticisms that I had of this song from back at Istiklal. It's not a bad song on its own. And you know what? Those ladies, Vanilla Ninja, they're very likable. But at the end of the day, the song is definitely kind of generic, kind of dated. And it just wasn't going to work. So I can't say we didn't see this coming. I think a lot of us saw this coming. But Some other songs in the semifinal disappointed, so there was a point in time where I thought, actually, this one might go through, but it didn't. 10 there. This was Israel, and I know that this one has had a lot of reaction, either good or bad. I think I'll address it briefly, and I'll be as objective as possible. I think he's talented. He's a good performer. I found the song a little uninteresting. It doesn't really seem to fit the profile of a winning song. The song itself just seems kind of average, but it's elevated by him as a performer. And then Germany performed between 10th and 11th, so the song's called Fire. And I was just thinking to myself, it feels like this one's been done before, and it was called Fuego, which means fire. Not to be mean or to compare it directly to Fuego from 2018, but just the whole song kind of had a feeling of like, it's not bad, but I feel like we've seen this performance at Eurovision before. Now, Belgium, I am surprised by this qualification. This is the shock qualifier. Because I thought the vocals were a miss. I thought it got off to a really rough start. It's an interesting song, but I mean, you think about it, like the last couple years, Belgium was really talked about. You know, back 2 contests ago, and then the last contest, Belgium was a song that people really wanted to see live, and those did not qualify. And this one, everyone was writing off, and it does qualify. I really don't know. Because like I said, I thought this one got off to a rough start, but you know what? I'm happy for her. Belgium is back in the final. Good for her. So Lithuania went 12th. I was worried about this one because I thought, having watched the Lithuanian national final, having seen him come through that, I thought he was a really good singer. And I thought he had a really good performance. This one, it just seemed a little more weird. It was a little more, I guess, cerebral. He did have some vocal issues, and I did at times struggle to connect with it, but I wanted it to do well. I was worried that it wasn't going to qualify, but it did. So happy for him. Hopefully he can pull it together for Saturday. So number 13, San Marino. This was Superstar. It was fine. I thought Boy George was completely superfluous to the song. Like, he did not need to be there. It was a very RuPaul-coded song. I mean, you know, Sissy That Walk and all that. But it sounded like something that... In fact, instead of Boy George, it should have just done it with RuPaul, except Mama Ru doesn't tour. We all know that. So, but, you know, the song was fine. Like, it wasn't better than Adrenalina, but it was fine. I'm not surprised it didn't qualify. It was fine. Number 14 was Poland. So this was one that I didn't predict to qualify, but after watching it live... And you can check the Blue Sky page. I did say it. I thought it deserved to qualify. Based on what I heard today, this song deserved to qualify. Good vocals, probably some of the better vocals of the night. Not the most exciting song I've ever heard, but it was performed well. And I definitely think it was one of the 10 best songs of the day today. So Poland's got a little bit of a qualification streak going now. That's 2 in a row. Good for them. And then number 15 was Serbia. This song definitely unique. I'm not sure I connect with like the first part of the song, but then it just goes big towards the end of the song. Once that screaming starts, the visuals just get really big, really grand. I don't know if it's my kind of song, but I respect it. And there's a lane for it. There's a place for it to succeed in the final. And I thought they were going to get through, and they did. So we were 8 out of 10 on qualifications. Probably going to be 8 or 9 out of 10 on Thursday. But we'll get to that on Thursday. So we got another semifinal coming up, 15 more songs, plus the automatic qualifiers, the ones that didn't go today. And then Saturday. It's the big one. We got the final coming up Saturday. So 2 more shows, live shows anyway, of the 2026 Eurovision Song Contest. So we'll be right back at it on Thursday here at Euroyard. Like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. We'll see you soon.